Yeah. Yeah.
Thief! Thief!
Garlic, beetroot, asparagus.
Somebody help me!
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. Pa. Peace. Curse it. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Cry for joy when you taste them. My respects to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know nothing about it, but ask all you want.
That man Lubosh who was murdered. Have you know?
I will.
Do you know? Do you know anyone Lubosh?
No.
That's all. Thank you.
Farewell.
The blessings of our good Lord. Can I ask you a few questions?
It's
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
a bit of a loss.
Did you notice anything suspicious?
My child.
That's really not a lot.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on...
Unfortunately,
What?
I'm bound by...
Vows more
There are laws of God.
Father...
There are things that...
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that, when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can. Because if I broke that vow, the consequence...
Father, Lubosh, if I don't find out...
I wouldn't. Suppose we talk it over in the evening.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Farewell.
Good God. What happened to your...
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you must.
Do you know who Lubosh... Do you know what Lubosh...
I...
Have you you noticed?
There...
Who was this?
You...
That's all. Thank you.
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
I suppose I could find something. For how long?
Just the one night?
All right. Money up front, though.
Here you are.
You've got it all to yourself. No.
What?
Goodbye.
Cheers!
The blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son.
I'm from Scout.
Oh.
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. God knows why. I didn't make it to the... They almost killed me.
My poor child. And how did you come to get...
He did, but I found a...
Ah. Now the most...
The rumours aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come. I'm sure they would have killed.
I see it's every bit... Well then, here's to those...
I've told you all about me. I noticed your...
You know...
But this...
Let's just... These days...
Well, we've had a... So...
Henry, that's not... If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed...
I understand, but that means I've...
Chin up, lad.
What?
If I tell you what Luke...
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered...
Well, Uji... It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. The tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head.
And good health.
Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny.
What do you mean? My situation, I'm one with...
Don't you think it's a bit...
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon. It's get...
What do you suppose?
Ah, that sounds like a good...
I knew you wouldn't let me...
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesięć smutek, wiodnielo i rano utek, dzieci w małżeński majstrat, do wczera żył nesaje brak. Už se jí bojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jí kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední jen. Buďme se vámi a norada stávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal jen
Enough of this!
Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped, and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Oh. You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
I wonder what Teresa's doing now. I could...
Bring it on. I'll wring your neck, you
Yeah!
Capiche?
Hey! Henry's come to see us!
So, my dear, like to have a little ring on the bell? No sooner said than done.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry.
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
Say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dear. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you'll...
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up!
Oh, shit, I have to say mass.
Ow!
No. I gotta say mass.
No, I
Henry,
got it.
you have to help me. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night.
You just came from
If the
studying
bailiff
in
or
Prague.
someone else complains
and you
about
want
me,
to share the words of Master
the bishop's
Jan
gonna
Hus,
have
who
my
you
guts
recently
for
heard
garters.
preaching there.
So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
So all at once, the confessional...
Don't mock me.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it.
Well, all right.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the town. No need to drag it out. If it turns...
Christ almighty.
Wonderful. Let...
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Scotland.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
Just as we are commanded to obey the priests in matters of virtue, so are we commanded to defy them face to face if they live contrary to God's commandments.
Hear that, Godwin?
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, the accursed wealth that the church is drowning in, is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame! Shame upon them!
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself, he, whose companions were poor travellers.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to life, for there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking it.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates. Away with them.
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon. Blessed are the shepherds who...
Aye! All honor to God!
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, Daffles.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. And I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
God bless you. What troubles you?
I'd like to enroll in the big tournament.
Come tomorrow morning to the upper castle courtyard and I'll gladly sign you up. I'm certainly not going to do it here and now. And don't forget to bring 30 groschen with you.
What are the rules of the tournament? Is there anything I should watch out for?
Well, it's not a life or death struggle. We're not barbarians, after all.
Can I borrow weapons?
Not only can you, you have to. This is about fighting skill, not about... There's equipment prepared for all the combatants. As soon as you sign up, you'll have...
What kind of weapon?
You can take your pick. In the first 2 duels, that is. If a 3rd duel is needed to decide the matter, Sir Hanush chooses the weapons.
And what do I have to do to win? Do I have to beat the opponent every time, or do I get several tries?
To get to the 2nd round, you have to beat your opponent twice in the first one. If both opponents win 1 bout each in the round, the victor is decided in a 3rd duel. Whoever wins that one goes on to the next round.
What are the rules of
The tourney is for commoners, but that doesn't mean chivalrous behavior doesn't apply. Anyone who leaves the arena before the winner is announced forfeits the duel. If you strike an opponent who has yielded, he'll be disqualified.
How many rounds?
Depends how many people enroll. The combatants who win the first round go through to the 2nd, and the winners of the 2nd will fight each other in the final duel.
How long does it go on?
All day long. The combatants have to go through... Usually the victor is announced before sunset, but it's not unheard.
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
Take care now.
Yeah.
So what are we to do with you, Henry?
I've brought you something. I've brought you something.
Thank you. But I'm not quite sure what to do with it.
Well, if something bad happens to you again, it could come in handy.
I see. Well, that's a kind thought, but I'm not sure it would do much good against those 3 big men.
Hey, lad! Don't you want a little wager on the Rattay tourney?
Don't you want to do something together again?
That sounds wonderful. Everyone says the Broken Wheel Tavern is the fun place to be in the evening. I want you to take me there.
Have you ever been to a tavern?
Me and my father used to stop at the tavern in the glade when he was taking the flour into town, but he never wanted to take me inside. What do you think, Hal? Shall we go?
And just where might that be?
Just above the upper gate, a little before you reach Rattay.
Well, I don't see why not. But you'll have to try some ale while you're there.
I will, I promise.
Let's be going then.
Go to taverns a lot, do you?
Sometimes. If I want a proper meal, I have to. You wouldn't want to eat the stuff I cook.
That's true. I haven't forgotten that bet you made back in Skalitz that time.
Don't talk about those old days. Fritz's belly heaves at the very mention, even now.
And that's where you go to woo wenches, is it?
Yeah, naturally. The taverns and baths are where the best ones gather.
You lout.
No need to take it the wrong way.
I'm not taking it any way at all.
It's all right. I'm only joking. I don't go picking up women in taverns. I prefer a different sort.
What sort might that be?
All mouth and green eyes.
You're such a...
Come on then. So, here we are. Shall we order something?
Yes, definitely.
Service?
Ah, a pair of lovebirds. What would you like to order?
Is it all right?
It's excellent.
This ale, there's no better in the province.
You know what?
What? What are you doing? Oh, no.
Oh.
But really?
Yes. Oh, come on, be brave.
No, I've never...
Hand on my hip.
I don't even know how.
And off we go.
But really, I don't know how.
You're doing just fine.
All right. Oh, it's
All right.
fine. Not so bad. You wore me out.
And you said you couldn't dance.
How about a dance with a real man?
How about you leave me alone and bother someone else?
Oh, come on. It's a crime to waste a body like that on a scrawny boy like him. You got tits like a cow in calf. Ah, that's it. I like a woman to fight before I fuck her. You'll pay for that, boy. Ow! Curse it! Yo! Hey!
You mangy dog.
Wave off! Hey!
The filthy swine.
Ow! Yibbat! Hey!
Well done,
Yeah!
Leave him be, you bastard! My hero. Does it hurt?
You should worry about the other fella. I'm fine. Ow!
Of course you are. That's why you wince every time I touch you. You saw him off, though. He wasn't feeling so playful after you'd finished with him.
That tickles.
Baby. So, you'll probably be fine. But try to give your hands some rest. Don't go lifting anything too heavy.
Thank you. Can I take you home?
You never give up. Are you sure you don't need a bit more rest? I can find my own way home.
I'll manage those few extra steps.
Come on then, hero.
I'll give you this. Nights out with you might be painful, but they're never boring.
I do my best.
Well, you should go in before Peshek starts fretting. Oh.
and get it. Man cannot live by bread alone, but he can't live without it either.
Good day to you. What do you need? Good luck to you.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Why not?
Is this enough?
That's not enough.
I knew we'd come to an arrangement.
Look out! Farewell.
Flour, egg, salt,
Asparagus
yeast.
that'll
Let it
cut
bake
you in
until
half,
it's
and
warm.
cucumbers that'll cure what ails you. Come get them.
Bread baked just this morning. Bread.
Good day to you. Farewell.
Garlic, carrots, beetroot, onions, all that grows in the ground. Fresh. Come right up.
God be with you.
Dear people, don't leave a poor woman to starve. Sigismund took everything I had.
Heavens, lad. You're looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Last time I saw you,
I'm feeling as good as new.
I'm glad to hear it. about that debt.
It'll take me a while longer.
I understand. There's no hurry. I'm sure you'll honour your debt.
Would you teach me more about alchemy?
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
First, you have to have some skills to hone.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention. Hey!
Hey, hold right there. Tell me what you have on you. Come on. Hey. What's with you?
You asked for it!
What the hell was that?
All right, enough.
Gotcha! And now I'll fix you good and proper. You'll soon learn what justice means.
You should have thought twice about what you're doing. That will
What
land
was
you
that
a fat fine.
Damn it. Here's your coin then.
All right. Just make sure it doesn't happen again.
Hey, who's there? I must have imagined it.
Hey, my man. Care for a little contest? Hey, my man. Care for a little How about a small wager, my good man?
That depends. A wager over what?
It's simple. I tell you a riddle. If you solve it, you get back twice the sum you wager. If you don't, I get to keep your coin.
Who might you be, anyway?
Me? No one important. You can be sure of one thing, lad. I walk the world, collecting riddles, stories, and sometimes arms. I live from day to day. But enough of my babbling. Do you want to engage your mind?
That sounds good. Let's do it.
Now, listen carefully. In the feast hall on the table are 10 candles. Suddenly, a gust of wind throws open the window and blows out 2 candles. A little later, another candle goes out. The servant, therefore, closes the hall window. Now the wind cannot blow out any more. So how many candles can the servant find to relight the following morning in the hall?
10.
No, my fine fellow. The correct answer is 3. While the wind blows out 3, 7 burn down completely overnight, so the next day only 3 can be rekindled. Oh, don't you fret. Very few people can figure out my riddles. So...
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My respects to you.
I'm looking for a fellow called Riki. Do you know him?
Riki? You mean Hinek, the courier's son?
Maybe. Do you know where I might find him?
He's not usually around here. Try asking at his home. But I hope you've got a thick skin. The old courier ain't exactly charming.
So you know this Hinek. Can you tell me something about him?
Not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why is that?
No one with a nose likes spending too much time around Tanners, and that Riki keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him.
What can you tell me about the old courier?
He's as cantankerous as a hog in a thorn bush. He won't talk to anyone.
Why do they call Hinek Riki anyway?
He's a tanner, isn't he? If you're ever downwind of him, you'll understand. Tanning isn't a trade for the weak of stomach.
True enough, but not every courier gets cursed with a name like that.
Well, Henek's nature is no sweeter than his smell.
Why has he got such a bad name?
Well, like his old man, he doesn't talk much to anyone, and then he's always skulking off somewhere. I heard he got a taste of the pillory in Rattay for thieving, and in Neuhof he got boozed up in the alehouse with his cronies, and they beat up some merchants.
So a bit more than high spirits.
Just so. We're all honest folk here, and we've no use for the likes of him.
Don't tell me there's not a single person who talks to him.
He's been seen around with one of the bathhouse wenches. Adela, I believe she's called. Farewell.
Yeah.
If you don't stop staring at my cleavage, you'll end up cross-eyed for life. Well, you wouldn't want to go home to your wife looking like a stuffed owl now, would you? Can I help? What's that?
God be with you. What can I do for you?
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
God, no, nothing like that. It's just that you're the only one in the village who sees Hinek, so I came to ask you about it.
Aye, I've seen him often enough. I don't know what I could tell you about him.
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something.
He kept prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who died. That he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Oh, just poppycock.
Did you go there for a look?
No, I've got better things to do. Obviously he made it up. Where would a layabout like him get so much coin?
Yes, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding, in the western corner.
All right, thank you. Is it true?
What?
Other whores wouldn't go with him even for money.
The other bathhouse girls are honest, so I don't know. The truth is, I felt a bit sorry for him. Folk don't like him, but it's only 'cause his old man is a grouch and a tanner.
So you only felt sorry for him?
Both of us are the black sheep of the village.
There's nothing more between you?
Hey!
No, nothing. Maybe Hinnick thinks differently, but that's how it goes.
Where can I find Hinnick?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
Look, Hinnick's my friend, and I really need to know where he is and what he's doing.
But I already told you I don't know where he's got to.
So I suppose he just goes to the woods to pick mushrooms, does he?
Mushrooms? No. More like hares or other game.
So Hinnick is a poacher? That's no surprise.
Well, he was never much of one for an honest trade.
Do you know exactly where he goes? Maybe he has some favourite spot he might have told you about?
He said he has some hideout in the woods, but he didn't tell me where.
Another thing about the money...
What is it?
Did he tell you exactly...
He said he buried it at his father's small holding, in the western corner.
All right, thank you. Is it true?
What?
Other whores wouldn't go...
The other bathhouse.
I heard they don't like him because he keeps company with villains.
True enough. But they didn't like him before that either. Or me. They're close-minded yokels. Both of us are the black sheep of the village.
There's nothing more between you?
No, nothing. Maybe. God bless.
What's going on there? Hey! God be with you.
I'm looking for your son. Any idea where he might be?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hynek shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick and Harry?
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
But this time his neck's on the block. He got mixed up with some very dangerous people. I have to find him.
All right. He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hynek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there, is all.
How's that?
'Cause every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
He had money because he sold the stuff right away?
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then. What more do you know?
Nothing. I swear to God Almighty, I've said all I know. Hynek never told me nothing.
I know he didn't talk to you about it, but you must have noticed something, right? How much time did he spend away? What was he wearing? How did he look when he came back? Anything?
Well, he came and went at all sorts of hours. I really don't know. Except maybe one thing. He'd come home scratched with brambles and with leaves and muck on him.
So he probably went through thick woods to get to that place.
I reckon. What do I know?
I'd like to talk to you about your Hynek.
I'm very busy, so make it quick.
What can you tell me about the coin I found hidden behind your house?
Coin? What coin? What on earth are you on about?
A pretty pile of groschen nicely stashed away for a rainy day. If I'd known tanning would...
I don't know nothing about...
And I suppose you know nothing about the bloodied gambeson your son hid there too. Of course it would be a shame to throw...
Behind my house, you say?
So you really don't know anything about it? Looks like you pulled the wool over your eyes. Still, I'm not surprised.
How did he come by?
I don't really have time to talk, but I'll put it this way. Hynek's doing deals with dangerous people. They paid him to do something.
God have mercy. What a... He could have at least told me about the money, the little shit.
Forget about that. Tell me where he is.
All right. He was here a few days...
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea.
I don't follow.
Hynek makes some money on the side from poaching.
Well, it's not much to go on.
Go. And if he's really in as much shit as you say, please, try and find him. Can I do anything to help?
Yeah!
Good day to you.
I want to ask about the courier's son, Hinnock.
And ask someone else. They've nothing to do with Riki. He'd only drive my customers away.
Really? I heard a different story. I heard the two of you do business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hinnock's. He's gone missing and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is. But if you find the bastard, tell him he still owes me some goods.
About the goods Riki owes you.
What about it?
Well, supposing I settle the account for him and you stop dodging my questions and tell me what I want to know.
I suppose that would be all right.
How much is it?
Before he vanished, I paid him in advance for 5 heirs.
That many? I'm not going to run around...
Then you're about as much use to me.
I don't give a damn what deals you've been doing together. I won't tell anyone. I just...
What have our deals got to do with where he...
More than you think. It's likely Riki is hiding out at his poaching lair. And believe me, it wasn't hard to find out who was buying game from him. And it's even easier to go to the castle and tell them. Poaching's a crime, after all.
All right. But give me your word of honor you won't tell anyone about our deal.
You have my word.
Fine. So, what do you want to know?
I hear Hinnock has a hideout in the woods he uses for hunting game. Do you know where it is?
Not exactly. That is... I don't know where it is at all.
But
I happen to know it's a dark place. A cave or an old mine shaft.
How do you know that?
Whenever Riki was going poaching, he always came to me first for candles and lamp oil. He brought the game skinned and gutted, so we had to have a light for that.
How much game did he bring you?
Not much, a few pieces. There's no great demand here. Sometimes...
And do you know of any mine?
There's a few of them around. There's one on the opposite bank, a short way off the path leading from the forge to the west. Then there's a mine gallery to the east of the village, up in the woods above the cliffs. And I heard there's one shaft on the headland close to the water.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Watch you don't break your neck, though. It's rough ground, and you could easily fall down a shaft. Take care now.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Damn it, I wish I was able to swim.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
mercy.
Damn it. He won't hold out for long.
Help me. Please.
What happened at Neuhof? Who's coming for you?
Rance people. Loyal. What a fucking mess.
Why?
We didn't want to kill nobody. Only they're savages. We ran off.
What happened to you?
Rance and his people. They found me.
Where did they go?
Oh. Don't. No.
I'm looking for those bastards who attacked Neuhof. Where can I find them?
They've got a camp.
Where? Come on, tell me.
I don't know. I've never been there.
So how do you know about it? Who told you?
My mate. Timmy. He was there. But they might have got him by now.
Where can I find him?
He works at the windmill by Miriam. Unless they've killed him already.
What can I do with you now?
Help me. Please.
I'm sorry, but there's no help for you in this world. Not anymore.
I know. Help me. To the next one. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good health to you.
Miller Peshek from Ratai sent me with this ring for you.
A ring?
Here it is.
Useless fucking bauble. You must be Henry, right? Peshek told me about you.
What the... Why did you throw it away? Do you know how much trouble I had to get it? Peshek said it was important to you.
Like I said, it's a piece of junk. It was just a test to see if you've got the balls to work for the miller. It's a custom of ours, testing fledglings in the trade with a nice little wild goose chase. We need to see if you'll be hobbled by pointless principles, or if you're willing to use your head. Congratulations. You passed the test, and now we'll have a few jobs for you.
What am I to do with these things I pilfer? No one will buy stolen goods from me.
Buying and selling stolen goods is a crime. But if they're worth something, I can make sure they're, properly cared for. Not that I'd buy them from you, but I could, store them for you. And you'll get some coin for taking care of them before.
So if someone loses something, and I happen to find it, I can bring it to you to store, and I'll get groschen for it.
That's the arrangement. Just in time. There is a certain matter I need resolving. I have some scores to settle with the commander of the Talmberg Guard, and I want to get my own back. You may have heard that Sir Robard of Talmberg is a stickler for having all his gear neat and tidy.
The commander of the guard? Sir Robard? I'm already confused. Just tell me.
It's like this. I want you to break into the Talmberg armory and steal a few...
Ah, and once Sir Robard finds some of his guardsmen...
He'll see to the commander of the guard, who's the only one with keys and answerable for their safekeeping. When Robard finds out, take at least 5 Wafford Rocks to make...
Consider it done. What am I to do with the Waffen Rocks once I have them?
I'll burn them to get rid of the evidence. Just make sure you don't get caught.
I'd like you to teach me how to be better at stealth.
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you.
Isn't that quite a lot? Are we agreed?
Come now, just a little more, and we have a deal. Agreed. Now listen up.
I've got some goods here whose owners might miss them.
All right. Let's see what we can do about that.
I'd like to discuss the price.
Why not?
Since it's you...
I'd almost shake on that. Almost. Finally, a reasonable sum.
Yeah, come here, you fucker. I'll punch your dog for you. Yeah.
How are you?
You've an honest trade. How come you got mixed up in crime?
Evil times. The harvest failed, and there was no grain to mill. And meanwhile, the lords in the castle and the monks in the monastery...
So you took justice into your own hands, is that it?
Pull your head out your arse, Henry. And take a good look around you. Wars come and go, but nothing really changes. It's the...
Can you tell me... That's all. I'd like to try pick...
All right. Come behind the mill, away from... Good luck, then. I'll see you later. Hey! I'll stand here. First, you have to... Once you've found some... Try stealing my... Have you lost something? That's the way. I hardly noticed you were there. Best practice on drunks and sleeping folk. So you don't...
Thanks, Peshek.
You're welcome.